Hi everybody, it's Paul again from Wheels RC. This is the ECX Torment I was showing you yesterday. It seems that it's a bit dirty, if you can hear this. That is grease and grime and dirt and muck and everything else wearing away the inside of the bearings, which isn't good for it, as you can well imagine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick video about stripping them down, cleaning them out and putting it all back together. First of all, obviously you have to take the wheel off, and for that we use one of these. Anybody who has an RC car, these are a lifesaver, especially out in the field where something breaks but you can't take the wheel off. Something as simple as that. Normally get these in the kit when you buy it, or the fully assembled car. Most manufacturers provide them, and they're pretty good. Obviously, taking the wheel off, just use your hex nut driver, give it a good couple of turns. Sorry about my hands in the way. All I'm doing is taking the wheel off. No bearings in there, as you can see, a bit dirty. All this is reverse spray WD-40 in it to try and clear it up a bit. But this bit here is what we're looking at. In there, that's the obviously that what the wheel grips onto. Just encapsulates that little T-bar there in that groove. Let's see if I can get it out like this. Yes. It just slides out like that. That's a step axle, as you can see, that the wheel revolves on. Now you can get in there and try and get those bearings out. I've got one there and one on the other side, but you can't really see from that angle. I'll be back in a minute. So it seems I've got to take the bearing carrier off anyway. So let's see if I can get that in shot. Just a couple of screws, top and bottom. Just a little step screw they call that, because it's got the bit where the bit at the top that allows the axle to turn, and obviously the screw bit that goes into the plastic there to enable it to turn properly. Let's take the bottom one out. Sorry about this. Just having a quick look, that's the other one. Have a quick look underneath to see that sometimes there are shims in them. Okay, so there we go. The that axle carrier out, steering arm, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to put this in, squirt some WD-40 in it, and hopefully clean those bearings out so nice and smooth like it was when it was new. Okay, that's all you need for a little wash tub. The bottom of a milk carton just cut out. I'm going to put my steering arm in there and just give it a quick blast with me WD-40 or whatever else is available in your country, just to give it a blast. Like that. Now I don't know if that's the dirt coming out of it, or the colour of the WD-40, or the equivalent, but they don't look very nice. Like that. Okay, let's looks clean, got all the dirt out, hopefully. Might have to do a more thorough job and take the actual bearings out of there, because obviously I can only get to one side each, and they look as though they're pressed in, so I don't really know if they're going to come out or not. Obviously for that it's just what your steering arm, sorry, that there's what your steering arm attaches onto. This is normally what I use on my bearings. I would normally take them right out, leave them in the container and all that overnight, just to soak into the bearing, but being as I'm using it somehow, when I get this back together, so you get an old cloth or something like that, and you can start applying your like machine oil, whatever you have for your bearings, if you have anything like that. That's made to go in there, so it's a good tool to work the oil in. Sound a bit clean there. Hopefully all that was in there is now out of my bearings and in there. I must say that does look like the colour of the gravel on the skate and the BMX track that I go to. So it looks as though that was what was in my bearings. It's always a good thing to do this, because your truck will run better and you won't have any problems with bearings seizing up, things like that. Also, if you was to run your truck in water, you really need to lubricate your bearings afterwards. I've never done that, but other guys on YouTube would obviously they'd be the ones to know about running their trucks in water, and obviously making sure everything's waterproof. I know people use marine grease in this sort of thing, in differentials, in the more up to spec trucks, especially four-wheel drive. Cost a lot of money, some of these things, and it's best to have it all lubricated, and protection against the water should it go into it. I mean, the ECX is fully waterproof, so you shouldn't have many problems running it in water. But I didn't say that. If you run your truck in water, you could fry everything in it, and you'd have to buy a new motor, new battery, new speed controller. So I'm saying don't do it. But if you was to do it, you want to use marine grease and give it a good clean out afterwards. Okay, so the rebuild process is pretty much the same as the disassembly. That will go and sit in there like that. You get your step screw, which is what these are called, and just find the hole. These are going into plastic, so you've got to watch about stripping the threads out and things like that. Just take it nice and easy, and you should be okay. You don't want these things too tight either, because they will bind on your steering servo, and they could potentially overheat it. Sorry about my hands in the way. Hold on. So I've gone ahead and put the bottom step screw in. A bit difficult because that's to lift the truck up and you wouldn't be able to see it anyway. So it's moving nice and freely. It's all lubricated, and not too bad. Not a lot of play on it. So then you get your axle. And there we go. You see the hole just there. That you put your pin through to hold the hex drive on, so it just slips in there like that. Get your pin, excuse me, just there with my fingers, and just put that through there like that, roughly in the middle. Then you get your hex drive, put that back on there like that, and everything's running quite smooth. Still a bit of noise, so I probably haven't got all of the dirt out, but it will do. And it's got some pressure oil in it to protect it. And then you just put the wheel back on. You've got your wheel nut there, and I've just got the wheel underneath to hold the truck up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead now and do the other side off the camera, and I'll check back with you in a minute. Okay, got the wheel back on now, and pretty much silent, which is how it should be. Don't do the other side now. Right, this is just the same as the other side. Got your hex drive just there. Give it a tug, out it comes. There's your pin that you need to save. Pair of pliers. Out that comes. Disconnect your, you can't see, can you? Let me just turn the truck control on. Disconnect your steering arm and just twist off. It's quite flexible on this truck, so you can just go like that and it pops off. And your axle comes out, and then you remove your two step screws there and there. That's the step screws out. Just pops out as it did on the last side, exactly the same, but angled a different way, or left and right of the vehicle. Go ahead and give the bearings a clean out. There you go, that's the bearings all clean. Hopefully got all the dirt out. In there is tiny micro particles of dirt that's going to ruin your bearings in probably about an hour. Give it a clean with an old cloth or a tea towel you nicked out the kitchen you haven't told anybody about, and dry it all off. Might as well wash everything while you're at it, because it's all been in the same mess, and the back of the table just wipes clean afterwards. And now it's just a case of putting it all back, which I will do and then come back to you. It's not a case of putting it all back because I've forgotten to oil it. So put the cloth there, make sure everybody can see. There's a run of oil all over there, and a run of oil there. It won't all seep in straight away because they are pretty tightly packed, the bearings. Just give it a work around like that, and clean the rest of the steering arm up so it doesn't attract dirt. Place your steering arm in there. Screw started. Again, don't over tighten it because they're already plastic, and the action of the screw actually going into the plastic heats it up, so it's quite easy to strip out. I'll do the bottom screw. That's all back together. Each steering arm, that just pops on like that. It's handy with these being as flexible, as you can see, that as flexible as they are, because the steering arm will just pop off if it receives an impact of any kind, and it will it won't break, which I think is where they got the secret of it being quite tough from. Go and put the wheel on, then I'll have a look at the back. Obviously I can't put the wheel on and the stub axle in with that attached, so I've just done that like that. It's fine. Locate your hole and put your retaining pin in just like this. The children are watching this, you'll find this so much easier to do because you've got smaller fingers, and your fingers will be better off. locating it. There's the wheel back on. It's still a bit dirty. Probably didn't get it all out. But hey ho. It's going to get dirty again tomorrow, so I'll have to clean it afterwards, won't I? Let's have a look at the back. Okay, the back of the ECX Torment. This is just obviously one side of it. When you spin them, the other wheel turns the opposite way. Standard open, what you call an open rear axle with the differentials open. You can get them locked like on the drift cars, but that just makes them go sideways. So let's take the wheel off and have a look to see how we can get these bearings out. So we take the wheel off. Like that. Right. These back wheels have got covers or spacers or whatever you want to call them. They don't go in there, they go there. Okay, so if you take yours out, don't lose those, because then that will be all the way round down right onto your axle, and you could get rubbing, you could get it catching on here, and you don't want any of that. Okay, because it won't do you a truck any good, and you end up spending money you don't need to, and that's never good. Oh, there you go. Not going to come out, is it? I'm trying to do it on camera, that's why. No. How about this one? I don't want to put a lot of pressure on it because I don't want to ruin the no, come back to it. Okay. Power pliers with a bit of grip on them, as you can see there. These are really old. Just get it on the hex nut tightly, don't squash it. Doesn't need a lot of force to bring it off, like that. And there's your bar that holds your hex nut on. This is all attached up here, and yeah, I can see that. Do this bit off camera, be back in a minute. Okay, you can see here where the top arm is. It comes along there like that, if you can see. Yeah, it goes behind the spring. That one there. There's just one screw just in there that holds it all together. There you go. Drop your screwdriver and everything else. You can see there, see you're at the, you can't see it, hold on. See there. But that axle is telescopic because it needs to be articulate where the arm goes up and down. Okay, you've got that there. Put the truck on the wheel. Make sure you don't knock all the other cars off. That's it, like that. And that should just lift out, like that, see? There's your drive shaft. That just comes out like that. It's nothing broken, it's just a plastic shaft that with splines on that fits into there. I'm going to keep these clean if possible and lubricated, because they, believe it or not, these slots here are the only thing supplying the drive to your buggy, which is why the telescopic, because it has to go up and down. They've also got these things on here, sorry, called universal joints. They work pretty much at any angle to supply drive to your wheel. Put that just over here. Now then, because I don't want to take that off because it's in there with a slide pin, this can make it difficult if that breaks. Let's hope it doesn't. I'll do that and sit on a wheel like that. Okay, who can see that? Nobody can. I'll do that and come back. More sand and crud and everything else come out of there. Both sides. Again, the nuts look, they're captive, and they probably will come out. It's just I've got to apply a bit of force to them. Heat the plastic up a little bit, maybe that might work. I don't know. So now got to dry it because it's sort of cleaning, cleaner agent. I'm not going to say the name again. I'm not supposed to. And then we can all pull it all back together. What I find is good in this situation is to use a cotton bud. I'll go and get one. One cotton bud. Put it in there, just soak up all the cleaning stuff that you put on. There's the middle of the bearing and all that. Sorry, my hand's in the way. So what I've done, I've just put the cotton bud, which is a bit dirty now, in there, just wash it all around and get all the there's the sand and dirt on there, as you can see. I hope if the camera will focus. There you go. Now, there'll be people that tell you not to do it because it captures dirt, and there'll be people that tell you to do it to lubricate it because it's going to help the truck. That is to sprung a bit of grease or something like that in here. But what I'm going to do, I'll put some in there like that. Like that. And then as you bring your goes on like that. Okay, so you bring your control arm down, and it's just another screw that you can put the that you can then choose your holes, because you've got a choice of two holes which one you can put it in. I'm going to have a quick look on the other side to see which hole it come out. Okay, it turns out it was on the outer hole. I'm just going to get it started like that, and it's bound to go wrong because I'm doing it on camera. And just do it in, just screw it in until you can feel the screw just about to come out the other side. That gives that chance to move. You still got your suspension there like that, and everything in there is nice and clean. Touch of oil just to make sure it, I did all the other bearing as well, like that. You put your tyre on. No you don't, idiot. Sorry, hands in the way again. I'll try and get used to not putting my hands in the way of every single shot that I do. Put your retaining pin in the hole where it wants to go in. Use a pair of pliers, a bit more precise. Put your hex nut that holds your wheel, it gives drive to your wheel, sorry. Just like that, it pushes on nicely. And then you put your tyre on. Don't forget that. It may seem a nothing part at the moment, but when you haven't got it and you can't run your truck, that's when you're going to be thinking, I wish I held on to that. So, put the walnut on. Do your walnut up so it's tight, and then just back it off half a turn. These have got these are a 9-ock nut, be very difficult to show you because it's all in black, but if you can see on the edge there, that's a kind of nylon substance in there, and what it'll do, it just locks itself onto the spindle and stops the nut coming off and you losing your wheel, because you can guarantee you will not find that again when it's been 20 foot in the air in the middle of a jump. Okay, and well, you can see it just about. Turn that around, turn it around. Okay, so what I've done, got these pliers, give it a wiggle, just like that. Okay, you're retaining your little drive pin out. Take that off, remember it goes in the outer hole, it will stay up there somewhere, and then you can drop that down like that. There's your drive shaft, the inner splines like I explained earlier to you, and I don't know if you can see in there. Let me just move the truck for you. Can you see all the dirt and crud in there? That is all sand, basically, and it is just eating the bit. There you go, that's better. Get your cotton bud in there, just give it a good swirl round. You're going to take out all the cleaner that you put in there, because that's all it is a cleaner, it's not an oil. If you left your bearings with no oil in them, they would start. So that's it. It's quite easy to pull one of these trucks apart, but if you lose things, if you lose stuff, you've got to wait for your parts to arrive to put your truck back together. You won't be able to use it, obviously. Just make sure you know where you put all your parts. When you've got springs flying all over the place and all that, it's easy to lose them. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I've been useful. Obviously it's just a beginner truck, so beginner knowledge. Thank you for watching, Mills RC. If you could like or dislike, if you liked it or not, like and subscribe, it helps me out. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, bye bye.